They told you softness was weakness. They said you had to harden to survive. But deep down, you knew gentleness is not fragility. It is strength of a different kind. A strength that doesn't shout, but whispers. A strength that doesn't strike, but soothes. In a world that praises armor, your open heart is an act of defiance. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are not fragile for being moved by small things. You are alive, awake, and unafraid to notice. Imagine two rivers, one raging, one calm. The raging river carves through stone, forceful and loud. The calm river nourishes valleys, bringing life wherever it flows. Both are powerful, both leave their mark. Your softness is the calm river, quiet yet transformative, gentle yet undeniable, a source of life for those who drink from it, a steady force that shapes the world without anyone noticing. Softness is not the absence of strength. It is the presence of love, even when love is difficult. It is kindness extended to a stranger, compassion offered in silence, empathy held in your chest even when it hurts. These things are not weaknesses. They are the hidden pillars of human survival. Wars may build empires, but love sustains humanity. Love is born from softness. Always. Look back on your life. Think of the moments that healed you. Is it someone's anger or someone's kindness? Is it someone's judgment or their gentle understanding? Healing rarely comes from harshness. It comes from those who dare to be tender in a hardened world. It comes from the ones who listen without rushing. From the ones who hold your hand without needing to fix you. From the ones who let you cry without shame. That is softness, and it saved you. To be soft is to carry the courage of vulnerability. It's to admit you are human, to let others see the cracks in your armor, to say, I hurt, but I still choose love. There is no greater strength than that. The world misunderstands this power. It mistakes gentleness for weakness. But weakness is cruelty because it cannot hold love. Weakness is numbness because it cannot feel. Weakness is hiding behind walls, afraid to be touched. Your softness is the opposite. It is your willingness to be touched by life, to let beauty move you to tears, to let loss break your heart open, to let joy make you laugh without restraint. This openness is not a flaw. It is the foundation of connection. It is what allows you to experience the fullness of being alive. And it takes courage more than most will ever know. Because to be soft is to risk breaking. But what the world forgets is this: broken things can shine. A shattered vase can still hold flowers. Cracked bell still rings. And your softness, even when bruised, still radiates light. You've been told to toughen up. You've been told to stop caring so much. You have been told sensitivity will ruin you. But notice your softness has survived everything. No cruelty has killed it. No betrayal has erased it. That is your proof. Softness is resilience in disguise. It bends, but it does not break. It feels, but it does not vanish. It endures, even when the world is unkind. It's that endurance is not weakness. It is quiet strength. It is a superpower hidden beneath gentle hands. The power to comfort when others cannot. The power to notice beauty where others see nothing. The power to keep choosing love, even after loss. You are not too soft for this world. This world is often too hard for you. Dant, you are still here. Still feeling, still loving, still refusing to harden. That makes you extraordinary. It makes you strong in a way most people will never understand. Hold on to that truth. Your softness is not weakness. It is the rarest form of courage. Softness often gets misunderstood. People confuse it with fragility, as if being gentle means you will break at the slightest touch. But fragility shatters, while softness bends and endures. Your sensitivity allows you to feel more deeply, and that depth is not a flaw. It is a hidden strength that many overlook.
Think about water. It is soft, flowing, yielding.
Yet over time it carves valleys, smooths stone, and shapes entire landscapes. Its quiet persistence is more powerful than forceful rigidity. Your softness works in the same way. A harsh world tries to convince you that only hardness survives, that only the tough the cold, the detached can thrive. But hardness alone cracks under pressure, resists until it breaks. Softness, on the other hand, adapts and endures. When you open yourself to emotion, you open yourself to connection. And connection is what keeps humanity alive. The world may undervalue it, but love, kindness, and understanding are what make life bearable. Without softness, life becomes mechanical, empty. Your softness restores balance. Sensitivity gives you empathy. You notice details others overlook. A slight change in tone, a shadow in someone's eyes, a silence heavy with meaning. You sense what isn't said, what hides beneath the surface. That awareness is a gift. Some may call you too much for feeling so deeply, but the truth is, your feelings allow you to recognize the feelings of others. You hold space for emotions that many people run away from. You can sit with sadness, with grief, with pain and not turn away. That takes courage. Harshness often disguises fear. Those who mock sensitivity often fear their own vulnerability, cover it with hardness because it feels safer. But deep inside, they long for the gentleness they dismiss in others. Your softness reminds them of something they've lost. To be soft in a harsh world is to resist the pressure to become numb. It is an act of rebellion against a culture that glorifies indifference. Your gentleness becomes a quiet defiance, a way of saying, I will not let the world harden me. And that defiance makes you strong in a way the world rarely acknowledges. It is strength wrapped in kindness. Think of a candle flame. Small, delicate, and vulnerable to wind. Yet, with enough candles, darkness is pushed back. Light spreads not by force, but by gentle sharing. Your softness is like that flame. When someone is hurting, your sensitivity notices before anyone else. You reach out, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to care. And that care can save lives, even if you don't realize it. Small gestures of softness ripple far beyond what you can see. They plant seeds of healing in others. Imagine a harsh world without softness, a place without empathy, without compassion, without forgiveness. It would be unbearable. And yet people often dismiss the very qualities that keep humanity alive. Your softness is the thread that keeps the fabric from tearing apart. There is a quiet power in being gentle. It allows you to comfort, to understand, to heal. It allows you to create peace in places where conflict grows. It allows you to listen when others only shout. That is not weakness, it is wisdom. Wisdom is not always loud. Sometimes it comes in the form of a soft word, spoken at the right time. Sometimes it's in the way you listen without judgment. Or the way you forgive, even when the world tells you not to. That softness is more powerful than anger could ever be. It takes strength to be gentle in a world that demands hardness. It takes resilience to feel deeply in a world that numbs itself. Your softness is not a burden, it is proof of your humanity. Proof that you are alive, awake, and willing to love despite the risk of pain. That is bravery. Do not let the world convince you to abandon it. Do not let fear make you believe that your softness is weakness. Because the truth is, your softness is the reason you can survive with your soul intact. It is what allows you to remain whole in a fractured world. It is what makes you rare. Your softness is not for everyone to understand. Some will never see its worth. But you are not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to embody what they cannot. And in doing so, you remind the world of what it means to be human. Softness is a quiet strength, steady and enduring. It may not shout, but it is heard by those who need it most. It may not demand attention, but it leaves a lasting impact. It may not be celebrated by all, but it is cherished by the hearts it touches. That is its true power. So do not shrink yourself. Do not harden your heart just to fit into a harsh world. Let your softness be what sets you apart. Let it be your quiet superpower. Because it is not weakness, it is your greatest strength. The world needs more of it. More softness, more tenderness, more compassion. And every time you choose to stay soft, you are giving the world what it lacks. You are filling it with light where it was once dark. You are showing that gentleness is powerful. Your softness matters. Your sensitivity matters. And your heart, open and vulnerable, is not too much. It is exactly what this harsh world needs. The world has long confused softness with fragility. It has mistaken gentleness for weakness, as if tenderness cannot stand firm. You may have heard it yourself. You're too sensitive. You need to toughen up. Words spoken not as guidance, but as dismissal. These phrases plant seeds of doubt deep inside. They make you question your natural way of being. They make you wonder if your softness is a flaw to be hidden. But the truth is far different. What people call weak is often what they do not understand. Sensitivity, in its pure form, is a heightened awareness. It is the ability to notice what others overlook. It is the courage to feel what others avoid. Softness requires strength, though the world rarely sees it that way. For it is easy to harden, to build walls, to close the heart. But to remain soft in a harsh world, that is the harder path. It means choosing openness despite the risk of being hurt. It means daring to love when indifference is safer. It means allowing yourself to feel, fully, when numbness would be easier. There is nothing weak about that. It is a quiet act of defiance, gentle revolution. To hold on to kindness in a world that tests it daily, that is power. Yet the misunderstanding persists. Society rewards sharpness, speed, and toughness. It praises those who push through without flinching. It elevates the image of unshakable confidence. Meanwhile, it overlooks the steady strength of those who heal, who comfort, who nurture. It forgets that battles are not always fought with fists or loud voices. Sometimes they are fought with patience, compassion, and presence. To soothe another's pain is a form of strength. To stand quietly in your truth without forcing it on others is courage. To refuse cruelty when the world offers it easily is resilience. Perhaps you've been told your softness makes you vulnerable. In truth, it gives you vision others lack. You notice the tone behind words, the silence behind noise. See the pain others try to hide. You sense the fracture in a smile. This awareness is not weakness. It is wisdom. It equips you to understand life more deeply, to see both the beauty and the sorrow woven together. But because the world does not always value what cannot be measured, your gift may be overlooked. That does not make it less valuable. Some treasures are not meant for the spotlight. Shine quietly, where only the attentive can see. You are one of those treasures. Your softness is a light that does not blind but gently illuminates. It is not meant to dominate but to guide. The misunderstanding is not yours to carry. It belongs to those who cannot yet see what you hold. For there are two kinds of strength in this world: the strength that resists and the strength that absorbs. The strength that shields and the strength that heals. The world has celebrated one while undervaluing the other. But both are necessary. In yours, the soft strength is the kind that makes life bearable. Without it, love could not survive. Without it, compassion would wither. Without it, humanity itself would grow brittle and unkind. Imagine a world where no one cared to listen, where no one offered comfort, where no one noticed the silent suffering of others. That would be a world without softness. That would be a world of survival, but not of living. And perhaps this is why your softness unsettles some, because it reveals what is missing in them, reminds them of the tenderness they once had, but buried. Your sensitivity shines a mirror, and not everyone is ready to look, so they call it weakness, hoping to dismiss it. But in reality, it is strength, just not the kind they understand. You carry both the pain and the beauty of this gift, and yet you carry it anyway. That alone is proof of your strength. So when the world misunderstands you, do not shrink. Stand in your softness. Own it as the rare power it truly is. For your softness is not a flaw. It is not a weakness. It is the superpower the world needs, but often overlooks. And one day, even those who once misunderstood will see it too. For gentleness leaves a mark deeper than force. Softness lingers where hardness breaks. And love, in the end, outlasts cruelty. Always. Let your heart remember that truth. Let your soul rest in it. For in being soft, you are not behind. You are ahead. You're already walking a higher path. A path not everyone can see, but one that matters deeply. Because softness is not the absence of strength. It is the essence of it. The world often tells you to harden, to shield yourself, to grow armor, to stop caring so much. What if your softness is not a liability? What if it is your shield? A different kind of protection, one that does not close you off, but keeps you connected. Because when you care, you see more. You notice the details others overlook. You feel the undercurrents in conversations. You sense the loneliness hiding behind someone's smile. That is not weakness. It is vision. The world may try to numb itself, to run from pain by turning away from feeling. But you, by staying open, you remain alive. You do not lose yourself to indifference. You do not sacrifice your humanity for convenience. And in a world growing harsher, that is rare. That is precious. Softness allows you to bend where others break. It allows you to adapt, to yield, without losing your roots. Like a willow tree in the wind, swaying but never snapping. That is strength, disguised in gentleness. There will be those who misunderstand, who call you fragile because they cannot imagine surviving as you do, who assume silence means weakness, who think tears mean surrender. But they do not see how much courage it takes to feel, to stay present with pain rather than running from it, to admit when something touches your heart, to allow joy to move you so deeply you tremble. Weakness is not in softness, it is in the fear of softness. The refusal to feel is what makes us brittle. The denial of tenderness is what makes us cold. But your softness, is a quiet rebellion. A way of saying, I will not let this world make me numb. And in that rebellion lies your power. People remember those who make them feel safe. They remember kindness, gentleness, presence, not cruelty, not indifference, not hardness. They may resist at first, but in time, they long for the softness they once dismissed. Because the world, in its rush toward harshness, is secretly starving for warmth. And you carry that warmth. You carry it in the way you listen, the way you hold someone's silence without rushing to fill it, in the way you soften your voice when someone is breaking, the way you forgive more often than you are forgiven. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. And it is the kind of wisdom this world desperately needs. If everyone hardened, what would remain? Who would be left to cradle the pieces when things fall apart? Who would be left to remind us of gentleness? Your softness is not weakness. It is balance. It is medicine against a culture that glorifies numbness. It is the thread that stitches humanity back together. Every act of kindness you choose, every tender word, every moment of compassion, it changes something. You may not see it right away, but softness ripples. It moves like water, finding cracks and filling them with life. Flows quietly, but it reshapes landscapes. And one day you will realize, your softness has carved rivers where walls once stood. It has turned deserts into places of growth. It has kept alive the possibility of beauty in a harsh world. That is your superpower. Not to destroy, but to nurture. Not to shout, but to soothe. Not to harden, but to heal. And maybe the greatest strength of all is to heal what others have given up on. To keep believing that gentleness matters. To keep choosing softness, even when it costs you. That is not fragility. It is courage woven with grace. And the world will never be the same because of it. There is a quiet strength in choosing to remain soft when life has given you every reason to harden. The world has tried to teach you that walls are safer, that if you care less, you will hurt less. If you keep your heart hidden, you will never be broken. But you know the truth. Walls protect nothing. They only trap you inside. They keep out the pain. Yes, but also the light. They keep out the beauty, the tenderness, the small miracles that soften each day. Softness is not about never being hurt. It is about being willing to live fully, even with the risk of pain. It is about letting yourself be changed by what you love, and allowing that love to reach others. There is a resilience in that, a resilience harder than stone, because stone eventually cracks, but water endures. Softness is water, flowing, patient, unyielding in its quiet persistence. It carves valleys, it shapes mountains, it nourishes life, and so does your softness. Every time you meet cruelty with kindness, you erode its edge. Every time you respond with patience, you soften the harshness around you. Every time you choose to care, you carve out a space where healing can happen. This is the resilience people overlook. Strength they cannot name. It's a kind of power that does not need recognition to be real. Because true strength never announces itself. It simply remains steady and present, until the world begins to shift. You may not always see the difference you make. Softness does not always echo. Loudly it seeps in, slowly like sunlight through curtains. But one day, someone will tell you, "Your kindness saved me when I felt invisible. Your gentleness gave me courage to stay." You will realize that what you thought was fragile was never fragile at all. It was the very thing that kept others alive. Softness does not deny pain.
Ow.
It does not erase the wounds of life, but it gives them space to breathe. It cradles what is broken until it remembers how to mend. This is the healing power you carry. Not the power to fix everything, but the power to make hurting bearable. The power to let someone rest, even for a moment, in a world that asks too much of them, and that is enough. Sometimes healing is not grand or dramatic. Sometimes it is simply being there, a hand that doesn't let go, a voice that whispers, "It's okay to feel this," a silence that makes room for tears. These are soft things, but they are powerful things, and they last longer than anyone realizes. Because long after words are forgotten, people remember how you made them feel. And your softness leaves a memory that becomes a lifeline. Do not underestimate this gift. Do not believe the lie that you must harden to survive. You have survived because of your softness, not in spite of it. You have endured because you kept your heart open enough to keep loving, even when it hurt. Even when the world did not return that love. That is not weakness. That is extraordinary strength. Strength that bends, but does not break. Strength that heals, but does not wound. A strength that remains soft, even when life has been anything but. And perhaps the greatest resilience of all is this: to choose softness again and again, no matter how many times the world asks you not to. To choose tenderness over bitterness. To choose love over numbness. To choose to feel fully, openly, courageously. This is your power. This is your resilience. And it is deeper, stronger, and more enduring than the world could ever measure. You are soft and you are unbreakable. And that is the quiet miracle of you. So here you are, still soft, still open, still carrying your quiet heart through a world that doesn't always understand. You have learned that softness is not weakness, but the soil where healing begins. You have learned that your gentleness is not a flaw, but a bridge that connects what is broken back to love. And you have learned that the parts of you others called too much were never too much. They were simply the depth of a soul that feels deeply, lives fully, and refuses to turn to stone. There is no need to apologize for that. There is no need to explain yourself to those who cannot see, because your softness is a gift, not a mistake. It is a light in a world that too often chooses shadow. It is a song in a world that too often chooses silence. It is the touch that reminds others they are not alone. And perhaps, most importantly, it is the embrace you can finally offer yourself. You too deserve the gentleness you give away so freely. You too deserve the patience, the kindness, the quiet care. You have been carrying the weight of the world in your softness, but you are allowed to lay it down sometimes. You are allowed to rest in your own arms. To remember that strength is not only what you give it, is also what you allow yourself to receive. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself unclench the heart that has tried so hard to protect you. Let softness be not just your gift to others, but also your safe place, because you deserve to be held gently too. When the world feels harsh, return to this truth. You are not broken for being tender. You are not foolish for being kind. You are not weak for needing love. You are human, beautifully so. And in your humanity, you carry the very medicine the world needs most. A softness that heals without asking for anything in return. A resilience that looks like water, shaping everything it touches. A quiet strength that does not fade, even in the storm. Carry this with you. Carry it not as a burden, but as a blessing, because when you choose to remain soft, you choose to keep the world alive with love. And that love, small as it may seem, is enough to shift everything, even now, even here, even in this moment. So close your eyes, take a breath, and let this truth settle inside you. You are soft. You are strong. You are unbreakable in your tenderness. And you are exactly as you were meant to be. Let that be enough. Let that be your peace. Let that be the gentle ending and the soft beginning, all at once. This is quiet philosophy, where thinking isn't loud And life doesn't need to be either. Subscribe if you haven't already, not for noise, but for something you can actually feel.